So it looks like from the setup that you guys were able to get up and down and scrimmage a little bit today. Was that one of the things you got done today? How'd that go?
Yeah, that is one of the things we got done today. It was good. Bounced back from yesterday energy-wise, and I think we executed really well, so it was a good day.
When you're playing, how do you balance the confidence to drive, to dribble, to shoot, to do those things with the trying to stay in the lane and play within your role? How do you balance those two things?
With this team, you kind of just read and react with who's on the court. I got different roles based on who's on and who's off, and just be in the right places. A lot of things we run are similar, actions. When Nicola has the ball, I got to be in certain few places. There's not too much freelance, and there's not many opportunities where I get the ball and I just try to go one-on-one. That's not what anybody on this team really does. We kind of play within our offense, so it makes it pretty easy for everybody to understand what their role is on offense and what places to be when whoever has the ball.
But how aggressive are you supposed to be? Like you catch a dribble handoff from Jokic. How aggressive are you supposed to look to getting downhill if there's an opening?
Go score. Every time. That's everybody though. It's not like a me thing. It's if you get the ball, everybody wants they want everybody to be aggressive. Coaches don't hold anybody back from anything. They don't try to tell you what to do or when to drive, when to shoot. If you're open, shoot it. If you're not, move it. It's pretty simple. And when you make basketball simplified like that, it's really easy.
How did it go today? What was the general vibe in your head?
I think it was really good today. Like I said, it was better than yesterday. Whether it was energy, execution, we did all of that better today. There's obviously some things we could have done better, but that's every day. You can nitpick, and I think there's some really positive things that we can take from today.
How long do you think it takes to build chemistry within your group?
I think the core, group, or most of the people have been here for a while. The coaches have been here for a long time, so it makes it easier when there's already kind of a set culture and understanding, like I said, of roles and what each person does. And that makes it a lot easier. It's not like a unit of all new people or anything like that. So guys just try to blend in with what's already here. And when I got here, I tried to blend in with what they already had. I picked up little things here and there, but it makes it a lot easier when there's a set culture, same group of coaches, your same star players. So that makes it really easy.
Has the intensity picked up the closer you get to your next preseason game?
We were intense in training camp and things like that, but we got up and down the last 2 days of practice, and that's been good for us. Just getting back from Abu Dhabi, trying to get back on schedule. And like I said, I think today was a lot better than yesterday. There was a lot of positives from today.
DA was saying yesterday he thought with you playing alongside the starters, you might face more kind of aggressive closeouts and give you a little bit more ability to attack there. Have you noticed that through the 2 preseason games?
I think it's hard to take much from the preseason games that we've played in so far. Because obviously those things you can look at and see. But no, I think it's going to be similar to what I've always faced with those guys when I play with Nicola. It tends to be when you play with Nicola, Jamal, and Mike and Aaron, you're wide open. That tends to be what it is, And then off that, if they do run at you, you have driving lanes. And like I said, there's freedom to do, pretty much whatever you want from there. And those guys make those looks a lot easier, and they're a lot more open when you play with guys that are really good like that.
So much talk about your three-point shot right now, but I saw you cutting a good amount in those preseason games. How important is that as well in Jokic offense, Jokic central?
It's always been a big part of our offense, no matter who's been here, whether it was Bruce. KCP spotted up more, but we've always had guys that cut, we have guys that spot up, and I'll do a lot of both. There'll be plenty of time, for me this year to do both. So we just got to do both at a high level.
Is there anything specifically over these next 3 preseason games that you or the team wants to work on, just that you've identified?
Transition defense is probably at the top. We weren't very good at to push the ball. I had a lot of success in both games, but in the second game, mostly. So transition defense is something that we got to take care of. We got to improve on. We got to take care of the ball. That's always a thing for us. As long as we take care of the ball, we tend to play pretty well and then rebounding. So transition defense and rebounding are the 2 biggest things I think that we took away from preseason games. That could be a preseason game thing, effort thing. We got to clean that up, and we know that going forward.
How is your relationship with Jamal through your years here, and how has he kind of embraced or encouraged you in this new elevated role?
Yeah, man. He's been great for me. whether that's my rookie year, just challenging me and forcing me to get a little outside my comfort zone. I understand that I got to help him out. I got to compliment his game. I got to compliment Nicola's game. He's a guy that likes to challenge you, likes to put you in spots, and encourage you, with making you compete. Challenge you as far as, hey, you're going to be open right here, I'm going to kick it to you. He'll tell you that sometimes before play. So he just likes to encourage you with challenges. And I think that's good for me. And, I don't need anybody to come, and build me up all the time. He's somebody that, will challenge you and give you things to do, whether that's before the game, whether that's he saw something during the game, he'll point it out, he'll let you know. And then he's the guy that you got to, match his competitiveness. And he'll also drag you along with that too. So he's been great for me. We've been pretty close. Obviously, he's like the guy sitting next to my locker. So Jamal's been great to me. I obviously appreciate him.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. How did that go, and what kind of stood out to you?
What stood out was it was way better than yesterday. I could tell the guys had good juice, so we tried to get through stuff quickly without rushing, if that makes sense. You have to get detailed stuff in, but then we got live 3 different segments. It was super competitive, and we got the 2 groups kind of aligned together, so a ton of positives. Russ was really good today, and it's a good experience for our starters, a guy that gets downhill like that. Defensively, we're going to see guys like that throughout the year. So good experience all the way through, and guys sustain their energy, which sometimes is tough as you're working your way to, yes, preseason games, but OKC down the road. So really positive day.
What would you say is like a stylistic change for this team based on the personnel or even just the growth from last year compared to last year?
He's different with his pace. I think stylistically, you want to add things to be creative, but you also have to remember why you've won so much. So trying to fine-tune what you've always been good at is what's most important, and then try things out right now and see if there's wrinkles or things we can add. There's multiple things. Can we get Jamal in the post more? Can we use Christian as a ball handler to get Jamal off the ball? How many more ways can we use Nicola as a lead ball handler? So all those things come into play. So it's a try it out stage right now. It's not the real thing yet. So stay creative for yourself. Stay creative for the players.
Coach, I know we're about to talk to Peyton Watson. It's horrible. Where has he been at over the course of these last few weeks? I know you said that he practiced yesterday. Is it difficult incorporating somebody into what you're doing unless they're getting live reps in training camp?
It is difficult, and I feel for him, and he's told me how frustrated he is. It's not just the fact he's not playing, it's the fact that he wants to compete against his teammates as we're trying to find guys, what kind of minutes they're going to play, where they are in the rotation. It's unfair to him, more so than it's unfair to us, to decide what his role is going to be, how he fits. So I know he's dying to get back on the court. Like I said yesterday, those injuries, they're so tedious and they kind of hang on to you. And he's got to get his confidence back to show some burst, which he did yesterday. So I feel for Pate, just like I feel for anybody right now that's part of a rotation around the NBA and doesn't get the chance to prove how they fit in. So he's frustrated, but you guys know Pate, he has such a great personality. He'll bounce back.
You guys had conversations on how you want to handle the final preseason games in terms of do you want to extend the starters, do you want to give them a game off somewhere along the way, or any feel for how you guys are going to handle it?
Yeah, we've had, small conversations. It's kind of a weird schedule because of the Abu Dhabi trip, and now they moved our Minnesota game up. So you're going, I believe it's Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, which is really not the way you want to schedule the preseason. So somewhere in there, we're going to have to give guys a break. But then the flip side of that is what you said, then we're off even longer to the OKC game, so the main guys have to play. So there's been conversations, nothing confirmed. Obviously, when Coach gets back, he'll make the final decision, but we have to be smart, and we also have to be diligent with making sure we're ready to go. So we'll have those conversations.
This may be an unfair question, but how do you report back to Malone on a practice like this? What are the top line things you would bring to him?
What we did, obviously, is the film. You can watch it. Sometimes when you watch the film, though, you can't really feel what was out here. So mostly just how engaged guys were, where they're at. This is a mental battle or sport because it's just every single day, and it goes on and on and on, hopefully into June. So, guys, where they're at mentally changes a lot, and, you have to kind of maintenance people throughout. Same with the coaching staff, same with everybody. So those kind of things, I think, what he's most interested in. But no, he's been good. He's been supportive. Obviously, he had ideas for what we could do in practice today. We incorporated those, so we've excellent.
How hard is it to balance the idea of, hey, this is going to be 7 months, we want to pace ourselves, versus we also want guys to be mentally tough, and fatigue is part of that. Like, how do you balance that this year?
I think you have to trust your medical staff. You know, this is a partnership, and if we take the guys to an extreme and they tell us, hey, it might be time to take it back a step, you have to do that. But this is professional sports, and mental fatigue is part of it, like you said, and you have to make that part of your routine as you go into the season. Obviously, as the year goes on, it becomes even tougher. So right now, those habits that you formed in preseason, they're going to take you to the end of the year.
Can you share some examples of Russ and his energy and lifting his teammates up? Because I feel like we've talked so much about his pace and what he brings, but what does that look like?
I think with his team today, when they call timeouts, he is the vocal leader in that group. We have a lot of young guys in that group, so it's always good to hear a positive voice from somebody that's been around for a long time. You know, and then we have that with a lot of our veteran guys, and it's important. You know, the young guys are trying to feel everything out. And, you know, they haven't really developed their leadership voice yet, and I think that's what stands out the most. And then just his overall energy, even on the small things that he does. Doesn't mean he always does everything right, but he's doing them hard, and that's a great example to set for everybody else.
Thanks, Coach.
Feels great. It feels great to be back in the full swing of things. I was super eager and excited to get started before I had injured, and that hasn't dimmed at all. I'm still super eager to get back healthy and help our team win games. So everything's going well with my recovery, and I just want to make sure that I'm 110% because we got a long season.
Coach was talking just before you got here about how he feels for you, just the level of frustration to not necessarily be out here initially battling with these guys. How do you internalize that, and how do you turn it into an advantage when you come back?
Well, I just haven't been sitting idle just because I've been injured. I've been listening a lot. I've shot a million jumpers, and I've been listening in every huddle as if I was still playing. So I think that I've been getting the mental reps, which is super important for me because I'm still learning in this league. So it's good to be able to see the game from a different point of view as opposed to playing. And I can't wait to take what I've seen and implemented in the game.
Do you have a feel for if you will be able to participate in any preseason games?
I'm still getting a feel for it, honestly. Hamstring is one of those things that could be a lingering injury, so the last thing I want to do is hurt it even more seriously and miss more time. So I think we're just playing it safe right now. But I feel great. The strength of my hamstring is returned completely, and now it's just about those little, short bursts, lateral quickness. I consider myself one of the better defenders in the league. So if I want to maintain that level of defensive prowess, then I think that I for sure need to be 100%. So it's just little things, but as far as running and walking, day-to-day things, I don't feel it at all.
Peyton, we know about your great defense, but how do you envision yourself fitting into the bench, the new pieces, and just sort of what you're looking to accomplish, or how you want to fit in offensively in the half court?
Just based on watching 2 preseason games, I think I'll fit perfectly. We got a really solid bench lineup coming in, especially with our new additions, Dario and Russ. So that's going to be big for us. And I think offensively I fit in perfect because I could do a multitude of things. I can come in and play at the 4, come in and play at the 3. Obviously, that's my most natural position where I feel the most threat offensively. So I definitely been working on a lot of things, honing my game, working on my handle, working on becoming almost a top-tier transition finisher. And then also just shooting the ball well. We got guys who drive and draw a lot of attention, so just being ready to hit the open shot. But I have no doubt that I'll fucking fit in just fine. Hey, watch that.
With that skill set, Peyton, though, how do you what's the right level of aggressiveness? Are you worried at all about I don't want to be too aggressive, or does you feel the coaching staff's telling you, hey, you see a lane, go for it?
No, I'm not worried at all. I think I showed last year that I can play a role and I can kind of play a little bit reserved, depending on who I'm on the floor with. But this year, I think it's just about taking a step as a hooper. First and foremost, I'm a hooper. I have a natural feel for the game, and I trust in that ability. I've shown that it can be successful in games, so now it's all about just making it consistent. But I don't think that there's a level of aggression that's too much. We play with one of the most aggressive players of all time, and he still finds ways to pick his spots and know when to push the pace, when to slow it down. So I think it's all about having an all-around feel for the game. But my aggression is going to be just fine.
How have you seen Russ make an impact off the court?
Just definitely with his energy and his vocal leadership. I think that's something that we really needed, and it's something that he brings to the table. And it's not to be fake either. He does it authentically. He would do it if nobody was in the gym. He'd be in here talking to himself. So I think that's amazing to have him, and it really just, I think, makes everybody else want to step their game up and play that much harder. So I love Russ, man.
What have you observed from the outside looking in about this year's team?
Definitely that I feel like we just got a bigger chip on our shoulders. You know, it's hard to come in with that level of intensity when you're coming off a championship, especially with an abbreviated summer. But I think all of us have had some time to digest what happened last year and ways that we could be better. I know that for sure that I have been thinking about ways that I can help this team win a championship, because that's our goal. So when you have lofty aspirations like that, I think that coming in with that chip on your shoulder, it means the world. You know, we know that we're still targets in this league, but at the same time, we got some people that we're targeting as well.
Is there any, just kind of pushing on that, is there anything that you want to bring even more than what you brought last year? Any specific skill or style of play?
Yeah, definitely. I just think I want to attack the boards more, get the ball more in my hands, so that way I can create and facilitate in transition. Definitely going to be playing the wing a lot more. Last year there was a 4 position that we needed to fill, and I was happy to do that because I want to play no matter what. No matter what the position is, you can count on me to come in and give 100%. And I think that I excelled in that role as well. So I think that there will be times where I play the 4, but I'm just focusing on expanding my game from the perimeter, handling the ball a bit more, facilitating, being able to cut with a great passer like Dario, and being able to run with a great, transition player like Russ. I think it's just dependent on the other players that we have around us and knowing what the team needs at that time.
What's the next step for you as a defender? Where do you think you can still grow on that end?
Definitely, and I speak to this all the time, but just my discipline, continuing to grow more discipline. I have a natural feel for, that defensive side of the ball because I watch a lot of film and I watch a lot of players offensively. So I kind of get a feel for their tendencies. But I think just, not always trying to make the superstar play. I know that if we need that I can go up and I can make a spectacular block, or I could get a big deflection when we need it. But for me, it's just all about containing guys so that I don't even have to get to that point where I'm jumping through the air over 3 people on the Joker's back, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
What was your favorite part about Abu Dhabi?
It was a lot, honestly. I enjoyed the whole trip as a whole. More than anything, I think I enjoyed just being around the guys and being able to bond. I'm a big guy. It's about the company you keep and not what you do. So I think that it was good to bond with all the guys. But I'd say my favorite part was probably like our desert party and getting to get on top of that camel. I think that was something super dope that I'm not going to forget for a long time. So yeah.